In fact, WNBA players are not underpaid at all. They are, if anything, vastly overpaid.
WNBA players aren't underpaid. Some people, like Matt Walsh, think they're actually overpaid. But is he right, or is he just trying to get attention? At first, it might sound surprising, but the numbers he talks about are making people in the sports world take notice. From Walsh saying Caitlin Clark is the only player worth big money to the league's huge financial losses, this topic has sparked a big debate. Let's break it down.
The WNBA and its players are closing in on an opt-out date for their current collective bargaining agreement. The CBA is essentially an agreement that sorts out what percentage of money goes to the players and at the end of the day decides what their salaries will be. And if the players union does opt out, the current CBA, which was set to expire in 2027, will still be in effect next season, so the two sides have a year to come to an agreement.
Let's start with the WNBA, and its players are approaching a key decision about their current collective bargaining agreement, CBA. The CBA is basically a deal that decides how money is split between the league and the players, including how much players get paid. If the players' union decides to opt out, the current agreement, which was supposed to last until 2027, will still be active for one more season. This gives both sides a year to figure out a new deal. Here's where it gets bold: the players have decided to opt out. In simple terms, they're saying, pay us more, or face a possible work stoppage. It's a risky move, especially for a league that's already dealing with money issues. The big question now is, can the WNBA handle this gamble?
If the players and the league can't come to an agreement, then a lockout will happen.
Now the players and the league can't agree on a new deal, a lockout could happen. The players aren't just asking for a small raise, they're demanding big changes. They want higher salaries, better benefits, and improved facilities. Basically, they're pushing for a total reset of how they're treated. If no agreement is reached by the end of the 2025 season, the league could face a full-scale strike that would completely shut it down.
Opting out isn't just about bigger paychecks. It's about claiming our rightful share of the business we built, improving working conditions, and sharing a future where the success we create benefits today's players and generations to come. We're not just asking for a CBA that reflects our value, we're demanding it.
Right now, the top WNBA salary is around $250,000. Compare that to the millions NBA rookies earn straight out of the draft. It's a huge gap. Star players like Breanna Stewart are calling for million-dollar contracts, which would be a massive jump from the current pay scale. Stewart even said she'd love to see teams be able to offer a $1 million contract. On top of that, the WNBA recently signed a major new media rights deal worth $200 million a year with Disney, Amazon Prime, and NBC. While this is a big win for the league, players don't want to wait for that money to slowly make its way to them. They want their share now. Kelsey Plum, one of the league's outspoken stars, summed it up best: the players are demanding what they deserve.
Also chimed in and said that she would love to see teams have the ability to have $1 million player.
For example, players don't earn anything from jersey sales, even though their merchandise is sold in stores. This push for better pay has sparked a heated debate. Some fans fully support the players, saying their demands are long overdue. Others argue that a league that's struggling financially simply can't afford higher salaries. Matt Walsh, known for his controversial takes, added fuel to the fire by claiming that WNBA players are already overpaid given the league's financial struggles. His comments have intensified the debate, with critics questioning whether the league can justify pay raises at all. The truth is, the WNBA is losing money, even with its new media deal. While the league is growing in viewership, turning a profit still feels far off. One thing is certain: the WNBA is at a turning point, and what happens next could shape its future. Stay tuned as we dive deeper into this intense conversation.
We are not asking to get paid what the men get paid. We're asking to get paid the same percentage of revenue shared.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Got it. So that's a huge misconception.
That's a huge misconception.
Got it. Okay.
For sure. Yeah, because every video is like, oh, this person gets paid this person gets paid that, right?
So I want to be really clear about that. Like, I don't think I should get paid the same as LeBron.
Right.
But the percentage of revenue, like, for example, they sell my jersey in Mandalay Bay, I don't get a dime.
You don't get any money from jersey sales?
That's crazy. But here's the shocker: the WNBA just reported a massive $40 million loss this season. Let that sink in. $40 million gone in a single year. And this isn't a new problem. Since its start in 1997, the league has never turned a profit. Now you might be wondering, what about all the Caitlin Clark hype? The record-breaking crowds and TV ratings? You're right, this season had packed arenas, viral moments, and a growing fan base. It feels like the WNBA is living in two worlds. On one side, there's excitement and momentum. On the other, it's a financial struggle that has NBA owners questioning how to make it work. The WNBA is at a critical point, and everyone is watching to see what happens next.
Keeping in mind, salaries were going to go up after the new media rights deal started, and they got a little while before that starts. It's not going to be next year, but they couldn't wait for that. That media rights deal is sizable, all right? The league is set to possibly pull a profit for the first time ever because of that media rights deal.
NBA owners aren't staying silent anymore. For years, they've been pumping millions into the WNBA, acting as its financial backbone, but the league continues to lose money. Their patience is running out, and honestly, who can blame them? Leading the charge is James Dolan, the owner of the New York Knicks. Dolan may have a mixed reputation in the sports world, but
the WNBA is set to lose $40 million.
When he starts asking tough questions, people listen. He's reportedly pressing NBA Commissioner Adam Silver for answers about the WNBA's financial struggles. And here's the thing, when one NBA owner gets vocal, the rest usually follow. This isn't just frustration anymore, it's a clear demand for transparency and accountability. Surprisingly, one of the key voices stepping up in this situation is James Dolan.
With Caitlin Clark, even with Angel Reese, the league lost $40 million this year. $40 million. All right, keep that in mind. So this league is not operating on a profit.
The owner of the Knicks. Known for being a polarizing figure, Dolan has taken on the role of asking tough questions about the league's financial struggles. What's even more interesting is that other owners seem relieved that he's taking the lead on this issue. It's almost as if Dolan is willing to take the heat, and the rest of the owners are quietly supporting his efforts from the sidelines. It's a surprising twist, but Dolan's involvement could...
And NBA investors are actually starting to get irritated. It's about time.
...play a critical role in shaping the league's next steps. What's really going on behind the scenes? Turns out, the NBA has been quietly absorbing the WNBA's financial losses for years, burying them in their own balance sheets. This has made it nearly impossible to get a clear picture of just how dire the situation is. The NBA provides the WNBA with an annual endowment of over $15 million. This funding covers key expenses like facilities.
And of all owners to actually be sort of a hero on this, it is James Dolan, one of them, of course, from the Knicks, that is asking a lot of questions right now, and evidently a lot of other owners are sort of happy that he's taking this bullet.
Travel, marketing, and administration. As of 2023, the NBA owns 50% of the WNBA, while the league's 12 teams collectively own the other half. Naturally, this setup has raised eyebrows, especially among NBA owners who are tired of footing the...
So the NBA provides the WNBA with an annual endowment of over $15 million. This financial support helps to cover various operating costs for WNBA teams, including facilities, travel, marketing, and administration. As of 2023, the NBA owns 50% of the WNBA, while the 12 WNBA teams collectively own the other 50%.
The bill. Frustrated owners are now demanding full transparency. They want to know exactly where their money is going, and who can blame them. For years, they've been investing in what feels like a financial black hole, with no accountability. Here's the shocking part. The WNBA's entire...
This league, they're getting fed up. You're seeing that headline. We'll lose $40 million. NBA investors are growing impatient.
Their business model depends on NBA support. Without the NBA's millions, the league couldn't even cover basic operations. This has led to a big question: how much longer will the NBA be willing to subsidize a league that has consistently lost money since its inception in 1997? Meanwhile, WNBA players are pushing for more higher salaries, better benefits, and improved facilities, all while the league is reporting a staggering $40 million loss this season. It's a bold move, almost like asking for a raise while your company is on the verge of bankruptcy. So, what's driving these demands? Are players seeing the writing on the wall, or do they genuinely believe that higher pay will turn the league's fortunes around? Either way, this is shaping up to be one of the most pivotal moments in WNBA history. Will the players' gamble pay off, or is the league heading toward a financial iceberg it can't avoid? One thing is clear, the stakes have never been higher. This league has survived for 30 years on financial life support from the NBA, but how much longer can this go on? Stay tuned, this story is far from over. Let's break down the chaos sparked by Matt Walsh's latest comments. Walsh has come out swinging, claiming WNBA players are overpaid and suggesting the league shouldn't even exist in its current form. Bold?
These women are getting paid salaries to play for a league that, economically speaking, shouldn't exist. You don't have to be a financial whiz to understand that losing money for 30 years is usually a recipe for bankruptcy. The only reason the women's league stays open is that the NBA subsidizes it.
Yes. Controversial? Absolutely. But before dismissing him outright, let's take a closer look at the numbers. The WNBA hasn't turned a profit in its nearly 30-year history. Compare that to the NBA, a financial powerhouse generating over $10 billion annually with roughly $3 billion in profits. In contrast, the WNBA reportedly generates anywhere between $60 million and $100 million in revenue, depending on the source, but operates at a significant loss. The financial gap between the two leagues is staggering, like comparing a lemonade stand to Amazon. For decades, the NBA has propped up the WNBA, funneling millions into the league to cover.
The WNBA has existed for nearly 30 years. It has never once turned a profit. According to WSN.com, a sports betting site, the WNBA generates about $60 million in revenue. For the record, an article in Vox claims that the revenue is in the $100-200 million range, which I find dubious. But either way, the NBA, by contrast, brings in $10 billion of revenue with something like $3 billion in profits. So that means that the NBA generates more than 150 times the revenue of the WNBA.
Salaries, marketing, and daily operations. Walsh has bluntly argued that if a business hasn't been profitable for this long, maybe it's time to pull the plug. According to him, the WNBA survives purely because the NBA subsidizes it, allowing people to feel good about the existence of a women's league. Harsh? Without a doubt. But
the only reason the women's league stays open is that the NBA subsidizes it. Every year, the men's league hands millions of dollars to the women. And why do they do that? Well, so that everyone can feel good about the fact that a women's league exists.
It's a hard truth that raises important questions. While some fans are furious, accusing Walsh of being misogynistic and stirring up drama, others quietly agree. How long can a league survive when its expenses vastly outweigh its revenue? Then there's Caitlin Clark, the rookie sensation changing the narrative. The WNBA has pinned its hopes on the Caitlin effect.
Because although the WNBA generates $60 million in revenue, or even if it's $100 million, let's say, it makes no profit. These women are getting paid salaries to play for a league that, economically speaking, shouldn't exist. You don't have to be a financial whiz to understand that losing money for 30 years is usually a recipe for bankruptcy.
Fact, betting that her star power can attract new fans, boost ratings, and, most importantly, generate revenue. And so far, it's working. Her games are must-watch TV, her jerseys are flying off the shelves, and she's bringing fresh energy to the league. The big question remains, is star power enough to turn the league's fortunes around? Or is the WNBA facing a financial reckoning it can't avoid?
I mean, this league is going to make some money now, all right? But again, what happens if you push all these new fans back out? What does that do for your media rights deals? Because they only got the new media rights deals because of one player. I mean, singular, let's be honest. It's Caitlin Clark. She boosted all the ratings. She got the popularity.
Either way, Matt Walsh's comments have forced a conversation the league likely wanted to avoid. The stakes have never been higher, and the WNBA is at a crossroads that could define its future. The WNBA is at a critical point, and Caitlin Clark has become the center of attention. She's brought in new fans, boosted TV ratings, and sparked excitement like never before. It's clear her presence has given the league a chance to make real money for the first time. Yet, instead of welcoming her as a savior, some WNBA players and officials are treating her and her fans like outsiders. Rather than celebrating the fresh wave of attention, players have criticized new fans, calling them bandwagoners who don't understand the league's history or culture. But here's the irony: these new fans are exactly what the WNBA needs to survive. Without them, the league risks losing the momentum Clark has worked so hard.
And if they do, that means the salaries are likely to rise, which would eat into the potential $60 million for the 2026 profit by the league. The $100 million in television revenue, turning the projected $40 million loss into a $60 million gain. Quote, we have not even getting any money from the WNBA expansion fees.
Hard to create. This resistance comes at a strange time. The WNBA is facing massive financial losses, with players demanding higher salaries, better facilities, and improved benefits. It's a bold stance considering the league hasn't been profitable in nearly 30 years. While these demands are...
She boosted all the ratings, she got the popularity, and now all your players across the league are attacking her fans. The Iowa fans, the Indiana Fever fans. Look at those Connecticut Sun players talking about Indiana Fever fans are racist. Angel Reese talking about Indiana Fever fans are racist. Caitlin Clark fans are racist. People are going to get tired of that, and they're going to be like, to hell with it. Let's let this league burn itself to the ground where it should have been a long time ago.
Valid, they raise a difficult question. How can the league promise more pay when it's still losing millions every year? The league's media rights deal, worth around $100 million annually starting in 2026, could finally help turn losses into profits. But this depends on keeping
this new era or crumble under the weight of its own resistance.
And it looks like the league might eventually become profitable. That is, if the WNBA players, the hatefulness, the jealousy, the pettiness doesn't run off fans, okay? Because we know the way they treated Caitlin Clark, and we know the way a lot of these players have talked so badly about the new fans that have come in. Well, the new fans are what's going to make you money. So if you continue to talk badly about them, they're going to get fed up and they're going to not watch this league. They're going to leave the league, and you're back to where you were. And it sounds like owners, you better not go back to where you were.
The new fans engaged and loyal. Unfortunately, public comments from some players, including accusations against Clark's fans, have fueled division rather than unity. Critics argue this negativity could drive fans away and undo the progress the league desperately needs. Caitlin Clark is seen by some as a symbol of change and hope, while others view her rise as a threat to the collective spirit the WNBA prides itself on. But the reality is simple: the league's future hinges on embracing this new era. The old ways haven't worked financially.
And you've got the factor of Caitlin Clark's getting the ever-loving hell beat out of her out there. So what happens if she gets hurt, severely hurt, knocked out of the league? Again, we were one eye poke away from a career being potentially a wrap right after it started.
Let's not sugarcoat.
And alienating the fans who are injecting fresh energy into the WNBA would be a huge mistake. The league is standing at a crossroads. It can either rally behind the new wave of enthusiasm Caitlin Clark has inspired, or let jealousy, resistance, and negativity push it closer to collapse. As the WNBA fights for its future, one thing is clear: the time to adapt and grow is now, or the league might not survive to see what comes next.